Gaston on a streak of 7 straight games with 10 or more points. She's the one player that Boise State will be looking to shut down. Abby Muse barging into Kirkendall but can't score. This is Zaff. Quick crossover dribble, but she lost it off the foot of Leonidas. Leonidas running the floor, and she will get 2 more. Dominique Leonidas with 4 points early.
It's a great push right there by Dominique, getting the steal, pushing it down the floor, and making the left-handed layup.
Here's Alexa Zaff. Sophia Gallarone, former Bronco, driving the baseline, and she gets 2 points. She's back in Boise for the first time since the 18-19 season with the Broncos. Gallarone in that season got into 29 games. Leonidas, wing 3 on its way, but off back iron. And one thing that'll be interesting to watch throughout the game is Mary Kay Narrow plays some solid defense. Looks like we got a foul on the floor. Is whether Florida Atlantic wants to play zone or man. They're more of a man-to-man team, doing that about 80% of the time, but Boise State has seen a lot of teams run zone against them because the Broncos have struggled, as we mentioned, behind the three-point line.
They have, and the Broncos were hoping Florida Atlantic came in today to play man, and that's what all we've seen so far. Zone is hard to get many shots out of. When the Broncos aren't hitting, many teams are going to zone. So we'll see if Florida Atlantic stays in the man-to-man coverage for the rest of this game.
Here's Camilla Carter. Out to Pleskovich on that left wing. Boise State not letting anything go inside into the paint. Shot clock down to 6. Pleskovich does drive in. Her layup won't fall. Mary Kay Narrow brings it in for the Broncos. Rachel Bowers into the game for Boise State. Coaching staff highlighted her as a player they want to shoot more. Ostley getting blocked on the far side. Broncos will keep it, though, as it goes out of bounds. Bowers has been very effective, shooting 50% from the floor. That's what she was in the game on Thursday. 8 points on 3 of 6 shooting. Here's Ostley wide open, and a 3 rattles home.
Great execution on that baseline out of bounds play. They got that open 3 for Anna.
The Broncos certainly like to see Anna Ostley knocking down jump shots, specifically from beyond the arc. And she's a player that really could lead this team in scoring every game. If she's consistent from deep. Narrow pull-up 3. No good. Trista Hull, the freshman, in there for the board. Good bounce pass to Ostley, who's put it on the floor, and it's stolen away.
Nice hustle right there by both teams.
Florida Atlantic coming back at Boise State. Hull gets scored on. Great move on the up and under by Rosenthal.
She's a post, and she can put the ball on the floor and drive it, as you see right there. She went middle. Nobody was there to help. Easy bucket on the end.
Narrow, quick entry pass to Bowers. That's great passing from Boise State to get 2 more.
Nice court awareness right there by Mary Kay, seeing that Rachel was open and no defender on her for the easy bucket.
Narrow's 4 assists per game. 5th in the Mountain West at the moment. Jump shot too strong from Rosenthal. Narrow's just not being picked up until she hits that 3-point line. Here's Hull. She's doubled, trying to get out of there, but it's a jump ball. Possession to Boise State as Rosenthal tied up with her.
Double team right here by FAU. Trista had nowhere to go. You see those 3 defenders on her. Great defensive play right there.
Ostley thought about a 3. Already hit 2 today. Caitlin Burgess into the ball game for the Broncos. Gonna Mary Kay Narrow some time on the bench. Shot clock at 5 for Leonidas and Boise State. Leonidas on the floor. Ostley picks it up, gets the shot off, and scores in time. The Broncos with 22 compared to FAU's 9.
For a play that looked like it was going the other way, the continued hustle right there by Anna to get the open, easy basket.
A lot of times it's just about heart and hustle. Pleskovic can't hit. There's a hustle play. Leonidas going to get called for a foul here as she used a whole lot of body to go into the side of Bree Beck.
She did, but I'll take this any day. That hustle right there, that call could have gone either way. 2 Broncos on the floor. It's what we like to see.
And when you are playing in games that are so tight, so close, like Boise State has recently, sometimes it is the hustle plays that make all the difference. A couple extra second chance points here. You grab a loose ball there, and you end up on the winning side. Rachel Bowers commits the foul, and Rosentale scores again. This time she just got around Bowers, and a little bump on the backside, enough to get the and one opportunity.
Yeah, a little shot fake there at the high post. Got Rachel to go up and under. Makes it that easy basket, drawing that foul.
So it's the Latvian at the line, shooting 1. And it swirls around before dropping. Former USF Bull was Rosentale. Had to sit out the 1920 season after transferring to FAU, keeping it in the Sunshine State. This is stolen away. Good read by Pleskovic to take it. And now Zaff battling against Narrow. Narrow, good defense. She's been one of the best defenders at the point guard position across the Mountain West Conference in non-conference play so far. In fact, her 1.2 blocks per game is 4th among everyone in the MW. Here's Bowers' baseline jumper, and that is something that has really grown this season for Rachel Bowers. The ability to just step out of the paint and knock down shots with a high consistency.
Yeah, FAU went to a zone that time. Where it's the open spot going to be? On the baseline, and Rachel was open, and she hit that.
Bree Beck stepping out of bounds. Another turnover against the Owls. You see Bowers there just rise up. No hesitation from Bowers. Boise State not hesitating as a team. 10 of 15 from the floor. Shooting at 67% so far.
That's what we like to see here. FAU back in a zone.
Abby Muse finds some space. Lalott, offensive rebound as she chases it down. Burgess for 3 over Gallarone, and that one's good as well. The Broncos on fire from outside.
Nice ball movement there by the Broncos. Mary Kay saw the open player, hit it to Caitlin, 3-pointer.
Ostley, tight defense on Kirkendall. Rebound to Narrow once again. Boise State up by 15 with a minute left. Burgess left open again. This time she can't connect. Boise State trying to chase it down. It's in the hands of Gallarone. One of the best quarters of the entire season. The Boise State Broncos. Possibly an opportunity to drop 30 in this first quarter. That shot off to the right by Beck.
Coach Presnell over on the sideline calling the last play here for the Broncos.
About a 1.5 seconds difference between the game and the shot clock. So Boise State can basically hold for the final shot of the quarter. Ostley to Muse. And it slipped out of her hand, stolen by Beck. So now it's the Owls the other way. Kirkendall drives, goes up, and scores with 4 seconds left. Narrow will not get the heave off in time. So Boise State unable to score as the final team in this quarter, but they're up by 13 going into the second. Second quarter underway. Missed a basket from Rosentale as she found another way to score. She's got 7 points now. Boise State talked about it possibly being the best quarter of the season. In fact, it tied their best quarter of the season with those 27 points. This is a turnover off Mary Kay Narrow, lost it off her knee. Third quarter against Oregon Tech here at ExtraMile Arena. Broncos put up 27. They put up 27 in the first against FAU, and they did it on 11 of 18 shooting, Heather.
That is something we haven't seen from the Broncos this season. It was a great way for them to come out and start this game. Not only hitting it on the floor, they are doing it on the rebound and defensive end, only allowing FAU to score little in the first quarter.
Dominique Leonidas again showing off that defense, knocked it away from Gaston, but Florida Atlantic will keep it. Also of note, first time all year, Boise State has worn the orange uniforms off the inbound. A jumper falls on the baseline. Rita Pleskovic hitting from the near side corner. 27-18, Leonidas, free throw line jumper, can't use the glass. Abby Muse on the boards, and one.
Nice putback there by Abby Muse. She got bumped, continued to go up, as we'll see here. Hustled for that ball. Little mic and drill there, up, put it in the basket.
Snatched it right off the top of Rosenthal's head. The 6'3" Muse against the 6-foot Rosenthal. And Muse makes the free throw as well. No one on the Broncos squad has gone to the free throw line more than Abby Muse this season. She's now 19 of 28 at the charity stripe. Broncos still holding that double-digit lead. Here's Rosenthal. That shot off the backboard. Boise State always looking to go quickly whenever Nero has the ball in her hands. Here's Burgess. Oh, and her pass, not a good one to Nero, stolen by Beck. Beck, Euro steps in, can't score. Once again, Mary Kay Nero, when she's all alone in the paint, she is a pest.
So Mary Kay has a nice way to disrupt players on the defensive end.
She's very long for a point guard, even though she is only 5'11". She's got a really long wingspan, and it's sneaky to a lot of opposing guards. Try to go up and score on her. Kirkendall, great pass, finding the wide open Pleskovic, but she can't knock it down. And now a foul that'll go in favor of Boise State. It's against Amber Gaston.
Yeah, Kaylin was there boxing her out once the shot goes up. The long rebound, a little bump there. Ball's going to the Broncos.
Burgess got sandwiched. There's a look at Sophia Gallarone, current Owl, former Bronco. She was chatting it up with Coach Sower and Coach Ramirez as well before the game. Oh, good passing from Boise State. Burgess got carried a little bit too far to put the shot up, though. So with 8 on the shot clock, Leonidas has to hand off to Nero. High screen. Nero gets in around Gallarone, and Mary Kay Nero showing off the proficiency at the bucket.
Nice offensive set right there by the Broncos, taking it down to the wire, looking at all their options. Mary Kay getting a basket as she drives to the hoop.
This is Gaston getting her way to the line. A lot thought she was straight up and down. The referees didn't see it that way. And we'll get another look.
Yeah, that's a call. I'm not sure I'm going to go with the refs on that one. Good hustle there by Gaston. She does lead this FAU team. She's a post, and they're going to look to her every time.
Two teams that really like to start the ball down low whenever they get the chance, kind of run the offense out of the block. And Gaston at the free throw line. Misses the first. A year ago, led the team with 24 blocks. Also shot 55.4% from the floor. Comes from a basketball background. Her uncle plays professionally in Europe. So definitely knows a thing or two about the game at a higher level. Leonidas not using that Muse screen. FAU has realized that they need to keep the ball out of the paint. Boise State trying to find some space. It's Ostley for 3.
Keeping the ball out of the paint, which means Ostley's going to be open. Nice three-pointer again there, right there by Anna.
And this is what Boise State is hoping for, as Gaston gets 2 more. Gaston's got 5 in the game now. Ostley, though, has 13 and leads all scorers. And when Boise State lost Jade Lavelle to transfer this offseason, Anna Ostley kind of seemed like the natural replacement. Can shoot the ball, can score inside, much like Jade Lavelle did for Boise State a year ago. Abby Muse called for traveling. And if Ostley does indeed start to hit at the rate that everyone on this coaching staff and in this organization knows she's capable of, she very certainly will take over that scoring lead on this team.
She's been a shooter. She's not only a shooter here, a shooter in high school. And when Gordy recruited her, he said she's going to shoot the lights out. And Anna has shown us that today.
Gaston on the second chance, another bucket for her.
Gaston's come to play. She is in it. She is doing it for the Owls here today.
She's shooting 60% on the season, 19th best in the entire nation. She also leads the Owls with 14.1 points per game, and you've seen why. She's got that silky smooth jump shot. We saw her knock one down over the lot, but she's also not afraid to get in there and really get tangled up to try to get O boards.
And you see she just got that block that sent it into the bench over there as the Broncos have it out of bounds. The Owls are in a man-to-man defense right here.
And Ostley's got space to pop. Abby Muse gets the long rebound. Now Narrow wants three. That rims out. Boise State, 2 good looks there. Can't hit on either of them, however. Kirkendall wants to give it off to Gallarone. Gallarone, who's operating more as a post for this FAU team. Gaston tries a contested layup. Rachel Bowers was having none of that. And go the other way for Boise State. Good pass from Leonidas out to Narrow. Another right wing three. This time Narrow short on it. And it'll bounce out of bounds. Boise State up 35-23 as we take a break. Broncos up by 12 during the media timeout here in the second quarter. We talked about Anna Ostley becoming a true scorer for Boise State. Well, how about a career high already in the first half? First half isn't even over. Ostley's already got 13. Previous best is 12. Did it twice a year ago against Utah State. Not a bad start for the sophomore.
Not a bad start by Anna at all. I'm glad she's able to get some buckets in today. Also helps the whole vibe of the Broncos team.
Just adds to that Boise State confidence. Gallarone steps long, and she gets 3. Been one of the best three-point shooters for Florida Atlantic this season. And she knocks that one down with no problem. Gallarone has hit a three-pointer in all but 2 games this year for the Owls. Narrow forced to pick up her dribble. Leonidas gets open for her. 6 on the shot clock. Leonidas wants the high pick and roll. Down to 3. Step back triple on the way in and out. Would have been a nice look for Leonidas had she converted. On the other end, the Owls get an open look. Gallarone grabs the miss.
The Broncos need to get a stop here.
Foul on the floor away from the ball against Rachel Bowers as she was battling for position with Amber Gaston underneath the hoop. Right, it happened right when Rosenthal put the ball on the floor.
Yeah, that's one of those calls in this type of game you don't want to have. You want Rachel on the floor, and one of those fouls is not something Coach Presnell would look for.
Gallarone with the quick release, but it misses everything. Gallarone trying to get that second three-pointer. Has had multi-three-pointer games in 2 contests so far this season. Ostley, lots of space. She pulls up, and she misses the rim as well. Back-to-back air balls on both sides from 2 very good three-point shooters.
I think it caught Anna by surprise how open she was.
And she seemed to freeze, hesitate, and sometimes that split second of indecision can really throw off your shot. Zaff, good pass to Gaston. She's met by Lalott, and traveling is called. Coach Sower was up off the bench. She was ready to yell about the foul that she thought was going against Elodie Lalott, and then she sat right back down.
Yeah, one of the keys today for the post play is do not try to go on block shots. Stay on the ground.
Everyone stayed on the ground there. It leads to 2 points for Trista Hull. Freshman has been getting a lot of run early in the season for Boise State. And Ostley tips the pass and gets the steal. Forces Lalott to chase it down and safely into the clutches of Narrow.
Great hustle right there by the Broncos. Saving it out of bounds. Trying to connect here on the offensive side.
Hull tried to go up again. This time there was some more resistance. Waiting to see on who the foul was called against. It's either going against Alexa Zaff or Gallarone, and they are going to call it on Zaff. Trista Hull's at the free throw line. She's looking to improve on what are not great numbers so far. With that miss, she's now 6 of 16 at the line. She does make the second. It's been a problem for Boise State this season, just shooting free throws. It severely cost them in their last matchup against the Conference USA opponent when they missed 4 down the stretch against La Tech. That was in Boulder. And we got another foul. This one is against Caitlin Burgess for a shove.
Right there at the top of the key. Puts FAU down at the bottom, what we call a bob, baseline out of bounds play.
It's Gallarone. She put it up quickly off the last one. This time does not. It's Zaff, the junior from Jupiter. Gallarone is stopped inside Rosentale. No. And Lalott with another rebound for the Broncos. Just the third for Elodie Lalott. Coming off that 14 and 12 game for Boise State. 14 points, 12 rebounds on Thursday in the losing effort. Leonidas with 7. Wants to find Hull. Now Trista Hull with 3 seconds on the clock. Puts it up and scores over Gallarone.
Nice spin move middle right there by Trista Hull. She saw she got stopped going baseline, spun middle, easy basket.
Rosentale, a lot of contact, blocking foul against Trista Hull, and Ostley was trying to swipe it away as well as Rosentale drove to her right. Did get a hand on the ball, but the big collision leads to the blocking foul instead. So another bob for FAU. It's Gallarone once again getting open. Gaston isolated against Lalott. We have another traveling violation. Second in a row against Gaston. Last 2 times she's touched the ball, she is walked.
Gaston's had a great game getting the ball inside. She just needs to slow down a little bit because the buckets will come to her.
Gaston with 7 points, 2 rebounds, but also 3 turnovers. 1 minute left in the second half, in the second quarter. Hull on the inside of Gallarone, and Trista Hull, the freshman, with 7 points here all in the second quarter.
Nice court awareness right there, realizing Trista was open for an easy bucket on the other end.
Gaston steps outside for 3. That won't fall for FAU. Broncos looking to add to this lead. Leonidas taking it herself, and she hits the ground hard, and in fact, she's still down. She's making her way up, but she's out of this play as Gallarone trails for 3.
Looks like she's okay.
She's dribbling away, although it looks like with some pain. 7 on the clock. Hull sets a big screen. Leonidas off to Burgess for 3, and that's a swish as Burgess holds the release, and the Broncos get the final bucket of the first half to go up by 20, 45-25 as we head to halftime. A huge Boise State run to end the first half sees the Broncos up by 20 on Florida Atlantic here at ExtraMile Arena. Leonard Berry alongside Heather Berry here as Boise State looks to pick up another home victory this season, snap their 4-game losing skid. And if the first half is any indication, the Broncos are certainly well on their way.
They are. The Broncos have come out shooting today, not only from the field, but from the three-point line, and Anna Ostley and some other Broncos have come. As you see here, Broncos are shooting 45% from threes, something we haven't seen all season.
Yeah, Boise State on the year shooting around 27% from the three-point arc, and their field goal percentage is only around 38% so far this season. So to see these kind of numbers in the first half, this is more of what it was like in the second half against Seattle U for Boise State. And on the flip side, for Florida Atlantic, they're the team who's been shooting lights out all year long. They shot the ball very well against Kennesaw State in their victory on Thursday, but so far here today, they're really struggling, even though they are getting some open looks.
They are getting great looks, a lot of looks in the post. As you see, the rebounds, 23 for the Broncos, 12 for FAU. That's based off of them just not shooting the ball very well. But if the Owls can continue to push the ball into the post, they will be in this game.
And one of the biggest things for Boise State that we mentioned earlier, Heather, is just the hustle play. The battle on the glass in terms of rebounds, that is pure hustle, but we're also seeing Boise State diving on the floor for loose balls, getting hands into the passing lanes, making that extra effort to really get in the way. And I think that has really confused and annoyed the Owls so far.
It is. One of the keys to the Broncos today was to play as one, and one meaning do everything. Be one team out on that floor, and diving on the ball when the ball is loose is something the Broncos have brought from the beginning of this game.
So for Boise State, let's take a deeper dive here in the stats. 9 turnovers for Florida Atlantic, just 7 for the Broncos, but 17 points off those 9 turnovers for Boise State compared to just 8 for Florida Atlantic. That's one of the big differences. And then bench points, 17-4. Boise State's bench this season has been scoring about 30% of the points per game for the Broncos. And it goes to show you that even with a young team, Boise State still understands their roles. And we've seen that specifically from Caitlin Burgess. That was someone who Gordy Presnell praised after the loss on Thursday, said she was really coming into her role. She's got 6 points on 2 of 3 three-point shooting, and she's had 3 open looks, probably could be 3 for 3.
She could, yeah. The bench play for the Broncos has been great. It's always nice to have more than just the starting 5 that can contribute, and the bench has done that today. Obviously, with the post play happening, with others getting in foul trouble, it's been nice for Gordy to be able to sub Elodie and Rachel and Trista in and keep this rotation that keeps them fresh and it keeps them on the boards.
And for Florida Atlantic, at the moment, they're shooting just at 33%. Rosenthaler and Pleskovich have been the 2 main culprits dragging it down. Rosenthaler 3 for 8, but she does have 7 points. Pleskovich, though, just 1 for 6. And she's coming off a game where she shot just 3 of 10 against Kennesaw State. So they would certainly like to see her turn it around with the Owls. She finished with 7, 7, and 4 in 31 minutes in the victory. Did the redshirt senior, but she needs to get it going for Florida Atlantic if they want any chance to come back here in the second half. We'll be back with another halftime segment after this short break. Keep it here on the Mountain West Network from Boise. Boise State Broncos, Florida Atlantic Owls meeting for the first time ever in these two schools' history. It's not a quick trip from Boise to Boca Raton down near Miami, Florida, so makes sense why the two have never matched up before. And in the first meeting, Boise State really taking it to Florida Atlantic, a career high in the first half from Anna Ostley. Boise State's shooting guard, small forward combo, really doing it all. She's crashing the boards. She is scoring inside the paint, but she's doing what we expected her to do in this one, which is knock down triples from the outside.
She is. Anna has brought it today. She has done it. As you see, 3 points there. She also has 3 steals, which has led other Broncos to get other points as the Broncos are leading by 20.
And she's really getting back into the swing of things. 161 three-pointers at her chaparral career. That was the high school she played at in Scottsdale, and she didn't even play half of her senior season. Abby Muse, also a huge game for Boise State. 7 points, 5 rebounds already for Abby Muse. She's looking like she might end up with a double-double in this one, get her first of the season.
Abby has been strong down there by the basket. As you see, she's had triple-double teams, and she has taken it to the hole.
And then for Florida Atlantic, it has been the Amber Gaston show. She showed early that she could shoot the ball, and that has created a lot of space for her down low. You see Bauer is struggling to match up with her as well, but the length on the glass helps her be effective also.
Gaston is the go-to player for this team. She is active. She's going to continue to go at it. And she's 3 for 6, so she's shooting 50% from the floor. But give her a couple more buckets, and she will keep this game where we're at.
For her, she's just got to work on the travels. 3 turnovers already, 2 of them on traveling on back-to-back times that she touched the rock. She's going to try to cut down on that. Boise State's going to try to keep it going. And Heather, one thing I want to talk about here during this halftime break is Mary Kay Narrow and Dominique Leonidas. I know going into the season, Dominique Leonidas being the transfer, didn't play last year because the Ivy League canceled the season. She came in from Brown. There was a lot of talk, of course, about Haley and Hannah Cavender at Fresno State kind of being the best 1-2 guard combination. But in terms of passing the basketball, there might not be any better in this conference than Leonidas and Narrow. The 2 of them have 9 of Boise State's assists already tonight. Leonidas with 5. Narrow with 4, and their court vision is just impeccable.
It is. Dominique brings this veteran, can look at the floor. She knows where people can be, and she just brings this calmness to the floor. And Mary Kay, obviously, as we've seen her play sophomore year, she is going to do it from all ends of the floor. Those 2 together will be something that will be fun to watch when we do play the Cavenders.
Certainly for Boise State, Mountain West Conference play is still a ways away. There's a lot of time to go in the non-con, but Boise State looking to get a big victory over Florida Atlantic here today. We'll be back with the second half. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Mountain West Network. Still halftime here in Boise, but both teams back out on the floor. It's the Broncos by 20 at the half, shooting the ball better than Florida Atlantic. That's what has given them the big lead going into the break. For Boise State, now it's about closing things out in the second half. We touched a lot on what the Broncos have done right so far. So Heather, let's talk about what Florida Atlantic did right in that first half. Obviously, they found some success early. It kind of petered away for them over the course of that second quarter, especially the 10-0 Boise State run. But where did they get their scoring here in this second half that was coming so easy to them in the first?
Yeah, they are getting buckets. They've shot 33 shots. The Broncos have shot 34. They are just not hitting. And as games ebb and flow, coming in back in from halftime, they just need to continue to do what they've done all season, and the points will flow here for them shortly.
And for Florida Atlantic, one of the things that may have affected them in that first half, it might become even a bigger factor in the second half, is just a little bit of fatigue. They're going through a pretty rough stretch. You go from Florida to Georgia to play at Kennesaw State on Thursday. I actually had the opportunity to talk to one of their assistant coaches earlier on this week from Florida Atlantic. They got into Boise. They left from Georgia on Friday. They got in Friday afternoon. They've been here for a couple of days to get adjusted to the time change and whatnot. But then they're going to go home tomorrow morning after this game, and then they're going to play at home on Tuesday. So you're going Florida to Georgia to Boise, back to Florida, all in the span of 4 days, and playing 3 games. That is tough on a team.
It is tough, and it's tough to travel. That's why they always say if you can get one on the road, that's a great win, because it's hard to win on the road just because of all the different nuances that happen when you do travel. You don't sleep in your own bed. You're kind of out of your routine. So if Florida Atlantic can at least get back into this game and go on the road tomorrow to then go back home to play, they will be fine.
And they got one on the road against Kennesaw State, and it was a pretty commanding victory for them. They were coming off just 4 really tough losses. They lost 2 really close games during their own Thanksgiving tournament. On the 26th, they lost by 2 points to Tulsa, 70-68, and then they dropped one by 3 points against Davidson the very next day. So very akin to what Boise State had happened to them when they were in Boulder for the Rocky Mountain Hoops Classic. Boise State lost on that heartbreaking buzzer beater against La Tech, and then turned around, played Wisconsin, and lost to Wisconsin by 15. So both of these teams really know what it's like so far early in the season to just have the ups and downs, to be right there, be so close. And so far, both of them are really just trying to figure out how to win basketball games.
It is, and that's where both teams just need to come out and do what they have done, what they've been taught to do, finish the plays, and follow what's on your scouting report.
Boise State, Cordy Presnell has always delivered in terms of coaching. first-year head coach at Florida Atlantic, and the Broncos start the second half by turning the ball over. Here's Zaff. She wants to get on the score sheet. Can't do it. She's 0 for 4 from the floor so far, and that's a big player for Florida Atlantic that has been just held scoreless. Another entry pass, tipped initially, and the Broncos get lucky enough that they'll avoid this with a foul, so it'll be no turnover.
Yeah, the Broncos on the first 2 plays of this second half have looked to try to get that ball in there to the post, posting up, trying to get that easy basket.
Rosenthal holding down Abby Muse. That's where the foul came from. Leonidas tiptoeing. Muse stepping out from the elbow. Broncos will get another opportunity for second chance points. One of the biggest differences in that first half was Boise State's ability to go up and get boards. Narrow, alone. Ostley for 3 once again.
It's a nice drive baseline where Dominique saw Mary Kay open, and Mary Kay knew, hey, my buddy Ostley's on the corner, and I'm going to pass to her for another 3-point play.
And Kirkendall was left in no man's land. She was forced to pick between the lesser of 2 evils, with both Narrow and Ostley being wide open. Gaston rises up, and a foul on the jump shot. You don't see that very often, but Gaston from inside the paint will get to go to the line for an and one.
That's what FAU wants to see from Gaston every time. As you can see right here, post up by herself. She's got everything to do there. Elodie, got to put her hands up straight. We need her here on the floor.
And she just whacked her right on the arm. That is the second foul against Lalott. There's a rebound for Elodie Lalott after Gaston missed it. Leonidas comes to receive the handoff, guarded by Kirkendall. Entry pass, Gaston tips it, and Florida Atlantic, great halftime adjustments because they're not letting that ball go in low. Here's Gaston, trying to go quick, Abby Muse says no.
Nice block right there by Abby Muse. She was not about to let that basket go through.
Well, Leonidas with the silky smooth feet leads to a basket for Abby Muse, coming off the assist from Anna Ostley. But make no mistake, Dominique Leonidas ball control made that play. And there's a timeout. Jennifer Sullivan deciding she wants to talk with her team. 50-27, Boise State on top here at the coach's call timeout. Florida Atlantic to inbound the basketball. Anna Ostley, star of the day so far, 16 points, leads everyone. Coming off that last 3-pointer, she's now 4 for 6 from deep as Boise State out big. Zaff, still no points tonight, and it will remain true as she misses off the right rim for 3.
Great ball execution right there by FAU. As you can see, they called up a play on the timeout. And they got an open look, just didn't go in.
Zaff scored 17 on Thursday. Abby Muse, another big swat for the center. Now Narrow, no 3 in transition. Leonidas will try to enter it. Again, poked away. Gaston, very good defensively here to begin this second half in terms of denying the basketball.
Yeah, Coach Sower over there giving props to Dominique to get the ball inside to Elodie. Just got tipped out from that time.
Leonidas can't shoot the 3. Didn't want to there. Bounce pass from Zaff. Kicked ball violation. Not a steal for Hannah Ostley.
We don't see that very often.
No, you do not. But what we saw a whole bunch of last year and what we're seeing a lot of this year, Abby Muse rising up for rejections.
A clean block is one of the best things and best feelings you can have as a post player.
Abby Muse got a lot of those last year. Second in the Mountain West with 40 blocks, 1.7 blocks per game last season. There's Jennifer Sullivan, first-year head coach, came to Florida Atlantic after 2 seasons as an assistant at Tennessee. Spent time with Missouri State, a very good Lady Bears program that actually beat Boise State right here at home in the women's NIT back in 2019. That was in the preseason WNIT. This is called off. Also has experience coaching as an assistant at Ohio State. So a very well-rounded resume for Sullivan before finally getting her first head coaching gig. Entry to Gaston. Bowers, a lot of contact. No call, though. Gaston upset about it. Boise State eludes the call, and the basketball eludes Abby Muse. Goes out of bounds off a blue jersey, so the Broncos will keep it.
Yeah, I'm not sure Abby Muse saw that ball coming to her as the ball was pushed up the floor pretty quickly.
Here's Bowers on the outside. Narrow pick and roll with her two-guard Leonidas. So both of them certainly capable of being the one at any given moment. Leonidas' jumper is off the target.
That's what we need to see from Dominique. Makes the players be honest, so that if she's going to drive, they leave her open and she can hit it.
Leonidas approaching the jump shot today with a lot more confidence than maybe in games prior. Gallarone, a lot of outside movement for FAU, trying to open up the inside for Kirkendall, and she does put up the contested layup.
Nice back pick play right there. And Ostley got stuck, which led to the open player underneath the basket.
Entry to Muse, tied up with Gallarone, jump ball coming, and this will be a turnover because the arrow is pointing the other way for FAU. Muse has it ripped away by Gallarone. Florida Atlantic still just trying to get back into this game. Down by 21 at the moment. And we saw a whole lot of this last year with the Boise State squad. When they were on, no one could touch them. Three ball goes down for the only freshman on the roster for the Owls, Simona Henshaw. Only true freshman for this Owls squad from London in the UK. And she gets 3 points. Ostley misses the three. Zaff. Rosenthal has been very quiet so far in this third quarter. Haven't seen her get many touches of the ball. It's Henshaw again. Calling for Zaff. 5 on the shot clock. Henshaw steps out again. Three is short. Gallarone, foot on the baseline. Bronco basketball. So Boise State will get the ball back. 50-32 is our score. Florida Atlantic trailing Boise State. 50-32 is the score. Florida Atlantic trying to just deny the ball inside. That's where Boise State had success in that first half. And the Owls thinking maybe if they can stop it from going in, Boise State will slow down. Hasn't worked so far for them. Broncos leading the game by a big margin.
Florida Atlantic comes out right now in kind of a matchup zone, something the Broncos have seen a lot this season, trying to see if they can change the pace of this game.
5 on the shot clock. Hole to Bowers. Baseline fadeaway is short. Caitlin Burgess gets the rebound and then gets fouled.
Nice hustle right there. It's a perfect jump shot for Rachel Bowers on the baseline. We need to see her hit those, which will then help extend that zone. As you see, nice hustle by Caitlin here to continue to keep the ball for the Broncos.
Yanetta Rosenthal was holding her back. And she still managed to get there and then drew the foul. Here's Narrow off the inbound play. That baseline jumper is also short. Gallarone with the rebound. Rosenthal running the floor, and that is what your posts can do if they scamper down the floor and get you free buckets.
It is. That's a nice push right there by the Owls to get down the other end of the floor and beat the Broncos for an easy two basket.
And Caitlin Burgess adds one more for Boise State. Another three. Burgess with 9, 3 of 4 from beyond the arc. Broncos as a squad shooting it 50% from deep.
Caitlin has been a great asset coming off the bench and hitting some big baskets for the Broncos today.
Burgess, her role is to be that off-ball shooter, and she is settling into that quite nicely. Rosentale, no good. Another rebound for Burgess, so make it 2 rebounds in this series for her as well. Ostley gets closed out on. Ball to Burgess in the corner. Bounce pass. Just a hole, and she hits the deck. Has to try to throw it away, and she does end up throwing it into the hands of the Owls. Kirkendall, no good. Whistle. And it looks like Anna Ostley committed the shooting foul there. It was a late whistle, but Kirkendall will be going to the line for 2.
Yeah, Anna was trying to make the offensive player, trying to pick and choose if she wanted to take the basket or pass it up to her post player on the other end, and unfortunately, Anna got that foul.
So Kirkendall at the line, originally from Memphis, Tennessee. Played at 2 different colleges now in Florida. She misses the first free throw. This is her first year at FAU after playing 2 seasons at Northwest Florida State College. She's all Panhandle Conference second team. Misses both free throws, but gets her own rebound. And now Gallarone trailing. This is Pleskovic instead. No good. Low shoulder there. Trying to create space was Rosentale. Gaston gets her own miss. Florida Atlantic coming alive in terms of the rebound department. And a pass that maybe should have been brought in by Kirkendall will bounce out of bounds. It looked good on the entry from Rosentale, but Kirkendall couldn't handle it.
Nice play right there. The Owls got 3 chances to get a bucket there. It just didn't fall, but they are coming out with some intensity here.
Dominique Leonidas going around a screen, and it's an illegal one set by Trista Hull, and Alexa Zaff in some pain after it.
We're going to see right here. I'm not sure I would say that was a charge on that end. She was set. Gordy Presnell got up off the bench. He was probably thinking the same thing I was thinking. Unfortunately, the ball's going the other way.
That was a big collision for sure. A huge screen. Kind of the bone-jarring screens that are sometimes had. And you can see there is Zaff. She is going to the bench. She's going to get checked out.
It's one of those things as a player, when your player is going to set a screen, you've got to call it out so somebody doesn't get railed like that.
Sophia Gallarone, no stranger to shooting on these baskets, gets her second triple of the contest, her 3rd game now this season for Florida Atlantic, with multiple 3-pointers knocked down. Burgess, she's already got 3 made threes, dishes it off. Narrow has some space, and Mary Kay Narrow just gets the short end of the stick there. A good shot. It was halfway down, and before you know it, it was coming out.
It was great ball movement by the Broncos. Getting the ball moved around the floor, trying to find the open look. Mary Kay had a great look on that shot. Unfortunately, it just didn't fall.
It's another really tough shooting day for Narrow as Gaston walks around, draws the foul, and scores. Nice finish from Amber Gaston.
Amber is one of those players that's going to do it all over the floor. As you can see here, she did not want to stop. She got the foul and the 2 points.
That is just a great finish on that up and under. Just moved around Rachel Bowers as if she wasn't even there. And the free throw is true. Talking about Narrow and her shooting performance. 1 of 7, 0 of 4 from 3. Owls on a 13-3 run here over the last 4 minutes. That's something that Boise State has got to be attentive to. It's a 13-point game. Broncos led by as many as 21 earlier. Narrow takes the 3. Narrow again, can't hit.
The Owls have come out in a zone defense, causing pressure. And then hitting it on the other end is exactly what the Owls want to do.
And Pleskovic having nearly a tough a day as Narrow. She gets just her 2nd bucket today, her first 3-pointer. She's now 2 of 8 from the floor. Here's just a hole, fighting against Gaston. Gaston straight up. Owls take it away. Pleskovic looking to extend the run, pass off to Rosentale, and this is going to have to be a timeout, and it is. Gordy Presnell is not happy with what he's seen over the last 5 minutes, making an 18-3 run over the last 5, and over just the last minute 45, it's 11-0 run for FAU.
This game has changed. FAU has come to play this second half. They have done it. They've got stops on the defensive end, and they have hit the baskets on the offensive end, which we didn't see in the first half, but that's what's keeping them in this game. Now under 10 for them. When they were down by 20, Gordy Presnell wanted to talk to the team.
And it looked like Boise State could just cruise. And maybe they thought they could. It seems like they've kind of parked it in cruise control. The Owls, meanwhile, a lot of drive, no giving up. They've shifted into another gear here over the latter half of this third period. And Boise State has to understand and come out with some fire for these last 30 seconds of this third, and especially for the start of the fourth.
Yeah, the Owls are putting on this defensive zone, which causes the Broncos a little bit of wondering what's going on.
Abby Muse, that's a very important bucket for the Boise State Broncos. Double teamed, still got the 2 and the foul.
Great positioning right here by Abby. As you can see, she only has to go up and in. She doesn't have to take a dribble, which makes it an easy basket for her.
So Muse goes back to the line. Makes that one as well. Second and one that Muse has converted on today. She's got 12 points now in the contest to go along with 8 rebounds. FAU lets it run. Smart decision to save some time on the clock for them. It's Kirkendall with 8. Gallarone for 3, and she cannot get it. Burgess the board. That's a big miss for the Owls. They would have gone in down less than 10. Instead, it's the Broncos 56, the Owls 45. Fourth quarter underway as Gaston goes in, gets fouled. It began with Bronco basketball and a turnover trying to enter the ball into the post. Fourth personal foul for Elodie Lalott as she tried to rip it away from Gaston. They didn't call Ostley, they called Lalott. That's a huge call because that takes Elodie off the floor for Boise State.
That is a huge call. Definitely, when you got 3 fouls, you got to be careful with 4. Gordy's taking her out. He wants her for the end of this fourth quarter, and here he transferred Bowers in for her.
Gallarone for 2, had a foot on the line. So it's not another three-pointer for the Spaniard, but it is more points for Florida Atlantic.
Sophia came to play today. She had something to show Boise State after being here on the roster a few years ago. She's brought it.
Not necessarily a revenge game. She was the one who decided to transfer away, but Bowers throws the ball into the backcourt. It's turnover against the Broncos. Gallarone is certainly having a good day. She's got 9 points and 6 rebounds.
Yeah, she's the player. She's playing like Boise State wanted her to play when she was here. That's the player they recruited. She's having an awesome game today.
Of course, for Gallarone, she was more of a guard when she was here with Boise State, and there was just no way through. Speaking of no way through, Abby Muse trying to make sure there wasn't, but Rosentale still found a way to score. And this game gets ever closer to becoming tied. Florida Atlantic really finding their groove. Leonidas off to the right. Muse can't get the second chance bucket, but she will draw the foul after getting her own rebound.
Nice hustle right there by Abby. As you can see, the zone for the Broncos is just causing a little bit of unknown uncertainty for the Broncos. But Abby getting that O-board 2 times and getting the ball back up into the basket.
Muse with her 4th 10-point effort of the season. 10th of her career. She's got a season-high 12 points at the moment. And she cannot hit the first free throw. Does have another one coming up. And Heather, earlier in the first half, we saw Anna Ostley get wide open in the man, and she hesitated. Couldn't hit it. Muse can't hit either on her trip to the stripe. But it just seems like Boise State, for whatever reason, hesitate. No hesitation from Gaston. She scores. It is a 5-point game. From down 21 to within 5 for the FAU Owls. What a comeback.
The swing of energy here in the arena right now during this fourth quarter has definitely changed from the Broncos to the Owls. The Owls have come in playing hard, and the Broncos are a little back on their heels.
Boise State very far back on the heels at the moment. They have to capture some of that swagger, some of that confidence they had in the first. Burgess, bounce pass to Bowers from the baseline, side of the backboard, Gaston the rebound. Gordy Presnell does not look happy. Rosenthal, fast break, swatted by Narrow, but no, a foul.
Yeah, the Owls pushed that ball, nice push to the basket, causing that foul. As you can see here, Mary Kay did get the ball, but she also got it on the arm, hence the reason the foul.
So Rosenthal with 13 points takes her second trip to the free throw line. This is her first time shooting 2. She's 1 for 1 so far in the game.
The Broncos, just like the Owls have, they have drove to the basket, which is causing this change of pace for this game, and the Broncos need to try to find something on the other end.
The Latvian sinks the first. 9 rebounds per game so far this season for Rosenthal. Just 3 today, but she's doing her part in terms of scoring. She got 14. She'll stay on 14 with the free throw ending up short. It's now a 2-possession game.
The Broncos have got to find something here. They've got to find something that gets them right to the baseline, as we see.
The ball movement, Narrow for 3. Mary Kay Narrow continues to struggle. Trista Hold, though, with a little bit of a bailout for Boise State, draws the foul.
Yeah, Trista, freshman, it'll take her some time. But she'll just have to go up there a little bit stronger, even if nobody's around. That way you get that bucket right in the hole.
Certainly you know a thing or two about scoring down low, Heather.
Yeah, a couple years ago. However, it takes some time, although Trista hit that one from the free throw line.
Freshman from Yakima, Trista Hull, 4 seasons at LaSalle High School. No points last game, just 10 minutes for Trista Hull on Thursday, even though she's been kind of the number 1 option in terms of forwards off the bench for Gordy Presnell for the majority of the season here in the early going.
Yeah, awesome experience for Trista to be able to play as a true freshman, to come in and play with these posts that we have with Abby and Elodie and Rachel. Great to get her some experience with this team.
Season high 9 points so far for Trista Hull. Entry to Rosenthal. Hull wanted the steal. Now she'll play defense. Narrow knocks it away. Owls still keep it even after all that unfortunate ball movement. This is a foul, and it's a block on the baseline against Trista Hull.
We'll see what's happening here on the replay.
3rd foul for Trista Hull.
That definitely is. Trista, it'll take some time, as we're talking about her being a true freshman. She's got to put that left foot and put it right on the baseline. So the only place that the defender or the offensive player can go is out of bounds.
Owls to inbound. Maybe more importantly, the shot clock was at 6. It'll start over at 20, but it'll be stolen away. So that will be a moot point, as Henshaw couldn't bring it in on the pass from Beck. For Boise State, when they are getting matched up in a zone like that, you just need someone to be uber confident. Just catch the ball and pull the trigger. Ostley's got to do it here. Ostley is long, and she just jogs back onto the defensive end, knowing that that one's going to sail out of bounds.
Yeah, that's a great look right there by Trista, getting the ball at the free throw line and looking weak side. You'll always have an open player, and that was Anna Ostley. Anna's just got to continue to shoot. She came out at the beginning of this game on fire. We know she still has it in her.
And 2 teams built from completely different veins. So many transfers on this Florida Atlantic team, most of them upperclassmen. Mentioned that they only have in Henshaw, the 1 freshman on the roster this year. This ball's out of bounds. Beck passed it in with her foot on the line. For Boise State, it's a team full of youth, barely any upperclassmen. You got Rachel Bowers, you got Dominique Leonidas, and you got Caitlin Burgess, but she's in her first season with the program. Oh, that's a big foul, as Rosenthal clipped the knees of Ostley, who hit the floor hard.
Yeah, as we watch Anna here, the arena is quiet.
Applause, though, as Ostley gets up. That's a big way to crumble down. And Ostley has got more points than anyone in this game. You're certainly hoping that she's okay. Looks like she's able to walk it off.
She hit the elbow of her shooting arm.
And that, of course, can always be a big deal. We've seen Dominique Leonidas all season long playing with a wrap around her left thumb. She's dealing with a thumb injury. Hull, good entry to Muse, post to post, and the Broncos get 2.
What a nice up and under right there. Post to post, a little bit of a miking drill. For those of you who don't know what miking is, it's something that the post players do to make easy baskets just like that.
Late whistle, looked like another narrow block, but instead it's another narrow foul. Hands on the head in disbelief. And Mary Kay Narrow, as a defensive point guard, certainly been something else this season. She shakes her head in shock after another foul called against her. Sends Rita Pleskovic to the line.
Yeah, Mary Kay being a taller guard makes it really hard when she plays somebody that's a little shorter to try to block those shots. Sometimes it's not worth the block, but to keep yourself on the floor.
Pleskovic good on both free throws. Transfer from Washington. FAU's the third school that she's attended. Started at Broward College, then went to Washington, and then back to Florida at FAU. Burgess showing confidence. Her three-pointer rolls around. Hull grabs it and gets fouled. These offensive boards off the missed threes have been big for Boise State here down the stretch.
They have. That's a great way for the Broncos to continue to stay in here, as we're not shooting that well from the three-point line this second half, that those oboes are going to be long, and the post players have definitely got them and been able to get second chance points.
Boise State's shooting percentage from deep and from the floor has really taken a dive in the second half. Broncos in this half shooting just 5 of 19, so 26%, as Hull gets the Broncos one more point, puts them up by 7. Zaff back into the game. That's a good sign for FAU. Gaston out to Pleskovic. Baseline drive. Now Zaff triple teamed and throws it into the hands of Abby Muse.
Abby Muse, another one of those players that has long arms that's going to be hard for players to get balls around when they're trying to pass over them.
Muse with a double-double as well, 14 and 11 here on the night. Had 3 blocks and a steal on Thursday. She's playing a big defensive part. Trista Hull doing her part. The freshman on the block in the place of Elodie Lalott, having a fantastic game.
It's a nice assist right there from Abby Muse to Trista Hull. Post to post, we like to see that. As you can see, the ball got to the baseline and saw the open player there for the easy basket.
And you see the excitement from Elodie Lalott, who's sitting on the bench with those 4 fouls. Hull came in for her, and Hull is going to get a very friendly hop to put the Broncos up by 10 with just about 5 minutes left.
That puts Trista in double digits for this game.
Hull with the and one has now 11 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists. Florida Atlantic has cooled off in a big way. They haven't hit a field goal in the last 4 minutes. Hull to Burgess. Hull from the free throw line. She knows it's off. Chases her own miss, gets it back.
Awesome hustle right there by Trista. She wasn't super okay with taking that jump shot there, but she followed it up and got the O board for the team.
Muse with the reverse, doesn't go. And Gaston with the defense. It gets turned over. It'll be FAU ball. Trista Hull playing a big part in putting Boise State up by 10. Broncos by 10 at the moment. Trista Hull with 13 points for Boise State. She's gone to the free throw line 7 times. She's 4 for 6 from the floor, and the amount of offensive rebounds she's chased down has really changed the game.
She has brought the energy to this fourth quarter, which has helped the Broncos come up by 10. As we talked about earlier in this game, the bench has brought it. Trista has been a part of that, playing 15 minutes, 13 points. You couldn't ask more from her today.
26 points off the bench for Boise State. Hull's got half of them. And Florida Atlantic again finds themselves down by double digits after they worked so hard to cut the lead to just 5. Pleskovic, no good. And maybe if she was having a better shooting game, things would be different for the Owls. But she is just 2 of 9 from the floor. Of course, Boise State with Mary Kay Narrow shooting just 1 of 9, still managing to put up 64 points. So the scoring is there. it's coming a variety of different ways. Ostley outside, Muse and Hull inside.
And Florida Atlantic has switched from that zone to man coming out of that timeout.
Hull pulls up 15 for the freshman.
Trista is feeling it this fourth quarter, isn't she?
Off the bounce and everything from the free throw line for Trista Hull. Puts the Broncos ahead by 12. For FAU, they might be just too little too late. Running out of gas, it seems. Talked about the travel earlier. And they used a whole lot of energy to spark that 18-3 run over the latter half of the third. Gallarone rolls one home. And then a timeout called by Jennifer Sullivan. Never mind, no timeout, a foul instead. And Gaston got whistled for it. Amber Gaston picked up the foul after the make. It was not a foul, actually. It's a delay of game warning on Gaston. That's something that you often see when a team is trailing to get a delay of game warning. Trista Hull once again gets fouled. Gallarone can't believe it. And Hull's going back to the free throw line.
Gordy called a play for Trista to be set up here as you see that back screen there. Trista in great position. Again, up to the basket. Got fouled. She's at the free throw line.
And this Boise State team, so far through the first 6 games of the season, really hasn't known who is the person that's going to be the leading scorer, who's going to take the ball and try to make things happen every time down. And it seems like right now they're just in the process of feeding the hot hand. Earlier it was Ostley. In the middle part of the game it was Muse, and now it's Trista Hull. And they just keep going back to the well.
It's a great way to be a team that anybody can be the star on any given day, at any quarter, and the Broncos have done that today.
Zaff picks up the dribble. Hull closes her down. Gallarone tightly guarded. Rosentale double teamed, has nowhere to move it. And Abby Muse, a bewildered look as the foul is called on her after she flew through the area to steal the ball.
Yeah, Abby Muse. I'm not sure about that one. It looks like Abby just grabbed the ball. Unfortunately, the referee saw something different, which sends FAU to the line.
Yanetta Rosentale back at the free throw line. Gets the shooter's roll on that one. There's Gordy Presnell. Boise State looking to hold on for their second victory of the season. The 1-5 Broncos, 2 plays away from being a 3-3 team. And of course, things don't always go the way you plan them. Boise State losing nearly a 21-point lead was certainly not what they expected to happen in this game. But they've been resilient. They fought through it. And they are 2 minutes away from picking up their second victory on the year. Ostley torn to the ground by Zaff. And this will be a loose ball foul against the FAU junior.
This is where the Broncos, like that's happened in the last couple games, they've got to watch time and score. Even though they're ahead right now, every possession counts. You saw that lackadaisical pass right there by Trista over to Anna, which then got tipped away. You can't have those. That's what happened against Seattle U, which caused them to lose. So now is the time to focus on every little play at the end of each game.
And talking about things that caused Boise State to lose, Anna Ostley at the free throw line, missing that first free throw. Broncos were up 57-53 against La Tech. Missed 4 straight free throws. Ostley misses them both. I mean, those are just things
they're mental. They're completely mental. You've been shooting free throws since you were playing ball when you were a little kid. It's all mental, and it comes down to what kind of player are you at the end of a game when the game is on the line.
Right, and I was going to say, regardless of how young or old your team is,
right.
free throws are something that are just an integral part of the game, especially free throws in the closing stages. Kirkendall bounces past Leonidas. Great defense, forces the shot short. And that's a big defensive stand for the Broncos after the 2 missed free throws.
All right, Gordy's talking about moving the ball. Let's move the ball, as we were talking about. Time and score, time and score.
Trista Hull nearly lost it there. Boise State just wants to milk as much as they can off this clock. There's not a lot of time for Florida Atlantic to get the points they need. Narrow bounce pass to Muse and a turnaround finish at the right block.
Nice hands right there by Abby Muse and a great look from Mary Kay for the easy bucket.
Some glue hands for Muse, giving her 16. How about 3 Broncos tonight with 16 points? Ostley, Hull, and Muse all have reached that number. Zaff cannot score, and it looks like she might be held scoreless in this one as Narrow is fouled in the backcourt. Broncos again burning clock. Zaff picks up the foul. Abby Muse has tied her career high with that last make. It's 16 points. Been a career day for quite a few Broncos, including Hull, Muse, and Ostley, all of them with the 16 points here today. And Narrow shooting 2 at the line.
Great number 2 win for the Broncos this season. As we just said, so many Broncos came out to play. Anna came in shooting the lights out in the beginning of the game, and Trista Hull pulling it in at the end of the game to keep the Broncos up by 10.
Narrow misses the second free throw, and a timeout called by Florida Atlantic. So Boise State up by 11, but certainly worrisome is the fact that they are now 1 of 4 from the free throw line over the last 2 trips here late. And again, it's something they went over 4 against La Tech. Not to harp on it, but it is just something that Boise State has to get better at, especially when Mountain West Conference play comes around and you're playing 1 to 2 point games every single night.
You are. The free throws is something you practice. You practice it every day in practice. Same dribbles, same shot, same routine. At some point, it's all just mental, and you've got to be able to figure out how to hit those clutch when the game is on the line.
Trista Hull's been doing a great job of hitting her free throw. She's 6 of 9 in the game, 5 of 7 from the floor, 16 points, 6 rebounds for Trista Hull. Seems like every single rebound has been an offensive rebound in a clutch moment as well for her.
Yeah, and Trista has had great looks at the basket. She's had great positioning tonight. She knows how to use her body. She knows how to defend the player, or get the player behind her to be able to get up and at him. And then here, that post-to-post play, getting Abby an assist for an easy bucket.
Hull with 2 assists. Boise State as a team assisting on a majority of their makes. They have 18 assists on 26 made baskets. Owls inbound.
It's awesome to be able to share the rock to get your teammates open looks.
In fact, the only 2 people that have touched the floor for Boise State who haven't picked up an assist here today are Elodie Lalott and Rachel Bowers. And of course, we talk so much about Elodie Lalott being the main scorer, as Rosentale is going to the free throw line. She was fouled away from the play. Lalott has just 2 points. She only shot the ball 1 time, and Boise State still has one of their best point totals on the season.
Yeah, Elodie has got to be careful of getting in foul trouble. The Broncos need her on the floor. Today, big players have stepped up. She's got to learn, stay straight, don't get fouls, because if not, you're just going to be sitting on the bench the rest of the game.
Broncos take a timeout as Gordy Presnell wants to talk things over. 70-61, so a 9-point game, 35 seconds left. Makes things interesting. The time is certainly the enemy for the Owls. And for the Broncos, the 70 points are the most points they've scored this season against a Division I opponent. So Gordy Presnell has talked a lot about growth. The whole organization of the Boise State women's basketball culture this year has been about growing every game. And Boise State, in terms of scoring, in terms of protecting the ball, really everything here today, we've seen a big growth swing from Thursday to Sunday.
Yeah, and Coach Presnell drew up a play right there when he called timeout. Let's see if the Broncos can execute it.
Nearly another late turnover for Boise State. Gallarone forced a foul after Narrow chased it down.
Yeah, a play like that, you got to be careful. Sophia almost had an open steal, which then could have given easy 2 points on the other end.
And for Boise State against Seattle U, it was a bounce pass that needed to not be thrown. There, the chest pass behind Narrow almost caused a problem. Narrow goes back to the line, knocks down the first. No Broncos in the lane. Just Narrow at the stripe from Beaverton, Oregon. And both free throws good for Narrow. Another timeout called. This time it's by FAU as Jennifer Sullivan takes the time to talk things over. Broncos once again up by 11 thanks to the clutch free throws from Narrow.
34 seconds is a long time in basketball for this. Although FAU is down by 11, a lot can happen. A quick three, steal, another quick three, you're only down by 4. A lot can happen in 34 seconds, and both teams want to talk it over.
For FAU, of course, they'll also get the ball up at the hash mark on their half of the court rather than inbounding, so that can shave some precious seconds, especially if they can find an inbound play that gets Sophia Gallarone open for 3. Kirkendall just got abused down in the lane, but did get out to get the basketball. Here's Gallarone for 3. Couldn't bank it in. Ostley, the rebound, and she is torn apart, but it's a jump ball and possession to the Owls.
The Owls got a great look with Sophia seeing the basket, looking at that 3. It just didn't go in. They are looking for her to be able to hit those.
There's Gallarone off a screen. Trying to pass to Kirkendall. Step back jumper, well short, and Leonidas skies for the board. She gets whacked on the thumb, spins around in pain. She's going to the line. There you can see the big thumb brace for Dom Leonidas.
Yeah, the thumb, always one that can get hit, and it'll just take forever to heal. Obviously, she's just got tape on it, so nothing bad is going on with her thumb. It just continues to get hit, as you can see when you dribble, when you pass, when you shoot. Something with that thumb. Been there, done that. Just takes a minute to get back to being normal.
And for basketball, it's something that's going to affect you all season long because, as you mentioned, dribbling, shooting, everything you do puts pressure on that thumb and that joint. But Leonidas has powered through it all season long. Mentioned a couple of times, it really hasn't affected her game whatsoever. And if she makes another free throw here with 18 seconds left, that should be enough for Boise State to seal off the victory. She does. Go a perfect 2 for 2 during her trip to the line. Broncos 14, make it 15 of 23. Gallarone picks up her dribble. FAU is wasting way too much clock here just to try to get a 2 that Rosenthal cannot convert. 5 seconds left. Ostley with the board, and Boise State has put this one on ice.
They have. The Broncos have kept it through the end of this game. Obviously, we've got some free throws right here based on that foul. Second win of the season for the Broncos here, and a perfect one in order to do so.
Florida Atlantic's going to fall to 3 and 5. Boise State's going to improve to 2 and 5. As Ostley heads back to the line, makes the first. The game is well and truly in order for the Broncos. It got scary for them. It got close. FAU turning a 21-point deficit into a 5-point deficit. But Boise State held off the storm. Zaff for 3, and before the buzzer, she will get it. So she does not go scoreless in this game, but her scoring output, not what FAU needed. Boise State does enough, holds down the 2 guards in Zaff and Pleskovich to get the victory, 76-64. Great game for Boise State. They win it. Broncos shoot 45% from the floor, 37% from deep. Turn the ball over just 16 times as well. 14 offensive rebounds compared to 7. Broncos win that battle on the glass.
Yeah, the Broncos came to play today, and obviously it was scoring from many players. It was a well-rounded win for the Broncos, and couldn't have done it without all of the hustle that the Broncos did on both ends of the floor.
And here after the victory, we're joined by the sophomore guard, Anna Ostley, and a big shooting game for you here today. You look like you had a ton of confidence in that first half. What was going right for you when you got the ball in your hands in that first half?
My teammates set good screens. I was open, and they fell. And I think that gave us momentum going into the game. And then, we wanted to win so bad, so we just had to put our foot down and get that win.
Anna, you had so many of your teammates contribute today. What was the big key that you guys talked about in the locker room before coming out today?
Coach was just like, we can't put ceilings on ourselves. And I think, against other teams, that's what we were doing. But Trista had a big night. In fourth quarter, she kept us in the game when we really needed it. And, yeah.
Yeah, talk me through kind of that third, fourth quarter when FAU was putting that run on. What were the things that you guys were talking about, and how did you manage to come out of it on the other side and really pull away in the fourth?
Yeah, like halfway through the third quarter, I look up and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's an 8-point game. But I think just like starting on defense, that was big for us. Like we need to get stops, because if we can't get stops, like they're just gonna keep scoring. And yeah, like I said, Trista had a big night. Caitlin hit some early threes. Abby did a good job. So yeah, it was a team win.
Was a team win, 18 points for you, a career high. Thanks for the time, Anna. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anna Ostley, the sophomore guard for Boise State, pours in the team high 18, tied for most in the game with Yanetta Rosentale for FAU. The Broncos end up winning it by 12. A team win, like Anna Ostley said, in every aspect.
It was a well-rounded win by the Broncos. They came out shooting the lights, which Gordy Presnell said, we just need to get the ball in the hole. The Broncos did that tonight, and a great second win for the Broncos for the 2021-22 season.
Broncos will be on the road in Eastern Washington later on this week. They'll take on Eastern Washington and WSU in Washington later this week. For Heather Berry and our production crew here at Boise State, I'm Leonard Berry, thanking you very much for tuning in. 76-64 is the final.